The Galactic Council chamber fell silent as the transmission ended. For the first time in 3 centuries, humanity had responded to their calls. Ambassador Zektar of the hegemony shifted uncomfortably in his crystalline form. "This cannot be accurate," he clicked, his translator converting the harmonic frequencies into standard galactic speech. The humans were declared extinct after the Purge Wars. Kinza Martinez stood at the observation deck of the Prometheus, watching the massive space station rotate slowly against the star field. Her dark eyes reflected the distant lights of 1,000 alien vessels, ships belonging to the same species that had driven humanity to the edge of the galaxy 300 years ago. "Adam, are you seeing this?" she whispered into her comm unit. 2 decks below, Adam Chen monitored the incoming communications from his engineering station. His fingers danced across holographic displays, analyzing the alien signals with technology that would have seemed impossible to his ancestors. "I'm seeing it, Kinza. 27 different species, all demanding to know how we survived." The truth was both simpler and more complex than the aliens could imagine. When the galactic hegemony had launched their cleansing campaign against humanity, claiming humans were too unpredictable, too violent, too chaotic for civilized space, they had succeeded in destroying Earth's colonies and driving the survivors into the void beyond charted space. What they hadn't counted on was humanity's greatest strength: adaptability. "Captain Rodriguez to all hands," the ship's intercom crackled. "We're receiving formal hails from the Hegemony Council. They want to know our intentions." Kinza smiled grimly. As the ship's xenobiologist, she had spent decades studying the alien races that had tried to erase her species. She knew their weaknesses better than they knew themselves. "Our intentions?" she murmured. "To remind them why they feared us in the first place." In the 3 centuries since the Exodus, humanity had not merely survived, they had evolved. Not biologically, but technologically and socially. The scattered human fleets had become something unprecedented in galactic history. A truly nomadic civilization that treated the vast emptiness between galaxies not as a barrier, but as home. Adam's console lit up with new data streams. "Kinza, you need to see this. They're mobilizing their fleet. Looks like they think we're here for revenge." She laughed, a sound that would have chilled the aliens had they understood its significance. Revenge? That's so limited in scope. The Prometheus was not alone. Behind it, emerging from the dark spaces between dimensions, came the rest of the human nomad fleet. Not hundreds of ships, but thousands. Each vessel was a masterwork of engineering that combined technologies scavenged from a dozen extinct civilizations with human innovation that had been refined by centuries of survival in the harshest environment imaginable, the void itself. The hegemony ships began forming defensive formations, their commanders no doubt remembering ancient tactical databases about human warfare. But those databases were 300 years out of date. "Open a channel to the Council," Kinza ordered as she made her way to the bridge. The massive view screen flickered to life, showing the assembled representatives of 27 alien species. Some were energy beings, others were crystalline matrices. Still others were biological forms that defied easy description. All of them radiated the same emotion: fear. "Humans," wheezed the Trilaxian representative through its breathing apparatus. "You should not exist. The records clearly state—" "The records," Kinza interrupted, "are written by the victors. But you see, you never actually achieved victory. You achieved something far more dangerous. You gave humanity a common enemy and unlimited time to prepare." Adam appeared beside her on the bridge, his engineering uniform bearing the patch of the Nomad fleet, a design that incorporated symbols from every human culture that had contributed to their survival. "The quantum displacement drives are ready," he reported quietly. "We can be gone before they finish powering their weapons." But Kinza shook her head. "We're not here to run, Adam. We're here to reclaim what was always ours." The council chamber erupted in confused chatter. The concept was apparently beyond their comprehension. "You speak of reclaiming territory," Ambassador Zektar managed. "But this galaxy belongs to the hegemony. We have held it for 3 centuries of peace and prosperity." "Peace?" Kinza's voice carried across space with deadly calm. "You call the systematic elimination of 47 developing species peace? You call the strip mining of entire systems for your war machines prosperity?" The aliens fell silent. They had assumed humanity knew nothing of what had transpired in their absence. Adam stepped forward, his young face bearing the gravity of his species' accumulated knowledge. We've been watching, learning, growing. While you've been playing at Empire, we've been becoming something you never understood, truly free. What do you want? The question came from a dozen species simultaneously. Kinza smiled, and in that expression was 300 years of human determination, ingenuity, and unbreakable will. We want you to remember why you were afraid of us. We want you to understand that exile only made us stronger, and most importantly, we want you to know that the age of your hegemony is over. The transmission ended, leaving the council in stunned silence. Across the galaxy, the message was received by others, the surviving members of species the hegemony had cleansed, the slave worlds they had subjugated, the colonies they had taxed into poverty. Humanity had not returned for conquest. They had returned as liberators. As the Prometheus and its fleet began their work, Adam and Kinza stood together on the observation deck, watching the first free ships in centuries break away from hegemony control. Think they understand now? Adam asked. Kinza nodded, her eyes reflecting not the light of alien vessels but the fire of human determination that had never truly been extinguished. They're about to learn what happens when you try to cage the species that turned the impossible into inevitable. The galaxy would never be the same.